low demand, then we have to force a turnover of the water in our elevated storage tanks in order to ensure that the chlorine residuals stay up and the water quality stays high. This is a couple of slides that are very similar to the last two, or a couple of charts that are similar to the last two that show budget versus actual revenue for 2010 and 2011. I picked these two because 2010 was kind of a normalized year. We got the right amount of rainfall and typical distribution patterns that we would see in this area. And you can see that our revenue came in at $157,000 over what we had budgeted. But at that time we were budgeting $26 million. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty good estimate to start off in April of the previous year and hit your numbers that close. 2011 is up here because 2011 was an extremely dry year. If y'all recall, I think we had almost 40 days, consecutive days of over 100 degrees. We saw Lake Tyler drop 8 feet that year. That is not a historical low. The historical low on Lake Tyler came in 2006 when it dropped 8.5 feet. But in 2011, it dropped 8 feet. It was extremely hot for extended periods of time. Our water sales were much greater, and we recovered about $4.7 million that had been budgeted. So during dry years, we do make revenue that exceeds our budget amounts. Again, what we have accumulated in cash reserves through that process, we spent in 2014 repairing the dam at Lake Tyler. This is a slide that kind of shows where we're at. This shows our starting fund balances for 2015 and projects our expenditures through 2015 as well as into 2016. The key component to take from this slide is the red number in the lower right-hand corner. If you walk through all of these, our 90-day surplus reserve, which is what we need for our bond debt, bond reserves, as well as our operating reserves as mandated by the city charter, reaches a negative $4.4 million. That's if we do the regulatory projects that we are committed to the TCQ to finish by October of 2016, operating the system and so forth. But that's the red flag that there's an issue that needs to be addressed. So how are we going to address that issue? What we have proposed to City Council is several modifications to our rate structure. The first is to take the 5% franchise fee that the utility pays to the general fund and make that a line item on the water bill. Every utility, whether it's gas, telephone, electric, water utilities that operates within the city of Tyler and uses the street right-of-ways, pays a 5% franchise fee to the utility fund. Solid Waste Department pays a 5% franchise fee to the utility fund. If you look at your bill today, the solid waste franchise fee is listed as a line item. What we are proposing to do is to take the 5% franchise fee of the water system and add it to the bill as a line item. This is not a rate increase, but it is equivalent to a 5% rate increase because we have reduced our expenses by 5%. And 5% equates to about $1.7 million. The second thing that we are proposing is a flat increase to the base rates to cover the cost of regulatory compliance. This proposed increase is 58 cents per month on the base water rate and 58 cents per month on the base sewer rate. This is a chart that we use to compare the city of Tyler utility rates. This is a list of cities that have historically in our budget presentations been used for this comparison purposes. If you look up there today, the 10,000 gallon consumer is paying $3.98 for water and sewer. That's based on 10,000 gallons, and we use that number because that's where we cap the sanitary sewer charges. Okay, after the proposed increases that I just outlined, that combined charge would increase to $68.42. But if you look at the chart, under today's rates, we are the second lowest city on that comparison table. And after the changes that we are proposing, we will remain the second lowest city on that comparison table. And that is not taking into account any of the other cities on this table having rate increases. We know that there are several cities on here that have either already proposed rate increases or are wrapping up rate studies to develop rate increases. The third thing that we are proposing to do is to issue revenue bonds in the amount of $6 million to cover the cost of the TCEQ regulatory compliance projects for fiscal year 2016. These projects include a backwash supply modification at the Golden Road Water Treatment Plant, as well as 3 booster stations located, one at Jan Street, which is actually an upgrade of an existing booster station, the installation of a new Barber Street booster station, and the Glenwood Old Noonday Road booster station. This is to address areas of the city where pressure is dropping down and approaching the state minimum requirements for pressure. We would propose to issue this new $6 million in bond in conjunction with a refunding of our 2005 bond series that we were planning to do later this year. If we implement the changes, the modifications to the rate structures that we have proposed, as you can see from this slide, that previous number in the lower right-hand corner that was a negative $4.4 million will become a positive $2.3 million, and will start rebuilding the cash reserves for the Tyler Water Utilities. The importance of those cash reserves is to improve that bond rating, which saves us a tremendous amount of money as we go forward and do additional regulatory projects, or as we need to build new water treatment plants and or new wastewater treatment plants. What would this do to our customers? This is a little chart right here that shows that outlines the cost that our customers could expect to see. If you are that minimum use customer, that you do not use more than 2,000 gallons a month, so all your water bill is based on is the base rate, you could expect to see a $2.50 increase in your water bill. If you use 5,000 gallons, if you consume 5,000 gallons of water per month, you could expect to see an increase of $3.33. If you are that 10,000 gallon customer, which is closer to the average number for our customer base, your increase would be $4.71. And that's on your total bill. This is a chart of our top 10 customers, what the impact would be to them. Delic is our largest water customer, and as you can see here, the total combined increase of water and wastewater for them is about $6,300. If you go down and look at our 10th largest customer, which is Aramark, the combined increase for them would be about $400. This is an excerpt from a presentation that was made by our financial advisors here at the last City Council meeting. Again, it outlines the advantages here of what we're trying to accomplish, and I apologize for turning around. But the first one is that the City of Tyler has the opportunity to refund those 2005 bonds and save a substantial amount of money over the life of those bonds. In addition, we're planning to issue the new $6 million worth of debt to address the regulatory compliance issues that we have. The numbers that are in this is